What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? A little earlier time slot tonight, 9 o'clock. A little different. First little screen here. We're new to StreamYard. We're still trying to play around with a lot of the different options that it has and things. Um, I don't know. I'm working on an intro video for you guys. We'll see if it turns out or if it's any good. It's giving me trouble. I don't know how some people do the NFL cut up videos, where you got the little cool intro with the highlight clips. Every time I've tried to do something with highlight clips, YouTube always flags it and says it's copyright. So I don't know if any of you guys watch this that have those, want to share a little knowledge with your boy. Let me know how you pull it off. I'd appreciate it. Maybe I could do something like that in the future. So I'm trying something a little different with my intro videos, but it's giving me the technology that I'm using to make it. It's kind of giving me trouble. I thought I would have it ready by tonight, but we didn't quite have it ready by tonight. I didn't want to put it out there with it being not right. So we held off. We're going to try to do, let me flip over here. Been on that long enough. We're going to try to do some sprints tonight. The 30-second one looks like it has a lot of people still to go. So we'll try to squeeze in a 20-second one. 20-second sprint if anybody wants to hop in it. I'm going to post real quick. If you guys want to hop in it, is a 20-second sprint. I keep wanting to do one of these on stream. So we're going to hold off for just a second, see if we can't get some traction, see if we can't get it to fill up. If it doesn't fill up, we can always abort, and go do something else. We know the super flexes will always fill up super quick. What are you guys drafting? I have one pug left. We could go do that. We could always hop in an eliminator. But I really want to draft one of these. Sprints. But every time I try to get in it, they just won't fill up. Are you guys having any luck with the sprints? Are they filling up for you guys? Is it just me? We want to draft something, though, and this one looks like it's not going to fill. So I think we're going to leave it. Maybe we'll try it for the second draft. What should we draft? Let's go see what the eliminators are. Sorry, I don't mean to clickbait you with the thumbnail. We really want to draft the sprints, but they just won't fill up. 8 for the 30-second eliminator. I always like checking the 30-second ones first. I prefer them over the 20 seconds when I'm streaming. But when I'm by myself, there we go. One person is all we need for the 20-second eliminator. If you can get in quick, there's still one seat left if you want to draft. If not, just come along for the ride. Let me know in the comment section if you've drafted any of the sprint teams, though. And if so, how are you approaching it? I got some strategies I want to try because we don't have to worry about the week 17. It's not as important to get the week 17 correlation. We're not trying to beat a 500 or 300 person field just in week 17 if we make it there. I have a little chart. I've showed it a couple times on stream. That kind of just shows like all of the playoff matchups for each team, and then it kind of has it like listed from top to bottom of the implied point totals for each of those teams. Hey, we got a 101 in the eliminator. Let's start it with Chase and see where it goes from there. See if we recognize any names in here tonight. Not off the top of my head. You guys let me know if y'all notice anybody, though. I'm still trying to learn everybody over on Underdog. How's everybody doing tonight? Have you been drafting today? If so, what have you been drafting? I drafted an eliminator earlier today. It wasn't on stream or anything. I just had a little bit of time to kill, so got one in real quick. I like the way it turned out. I don't really remember it off the top of my head. Maybe we can go back and look at it later. But I remember it was pretty good. Thursday night, I'm going to be live. I don't know the time yet. It's going to be a late night stream, probably starting like 11:30, something like that. We'll see. I'm going to be in the garage with Candyman Thursday night at 8:30 Central Time. So I'm not really sure his plan. I don't know if he wants to draft 2 teams, 1 team, whatever we do draft over there with him. Whether it's 1 or 2, we will definitely hop on for at least 1 draft. We'll see. If I draft 2 with him and it's kind of late by the time that ends, I'll still probably hop on 11:30, whatever time it is, and try to get one in on mine. I'm really trying to stick to at least streaming something 6 days a week at least. Saturdays are tough for me. But at least want to get one in Thursday night still. So it'll be a late night stream. For all my night owls out there, come on in. We'll have some fun with the late night stream Thursday. Last couple of days, I just kind of been mixing it up. I kind of been doing eliminators and superflex mostly. I think we did a pug on stream last night. We tried to get a sprint in last night, like we tried to do tonight. But those suckers just won't fill. Nobody wants to draft the sprints. I guess maybe if we try it tomorrow night, maybe we can try to join it 10 minutes or something, 5 minutes before the stream. Try to time it just right. Let me know if you guys are drafting any. But I think when we do finally get into one of those sprints, I think I want to really just hone in on, really trying to go with the team correlation of a couple different teams, all with pretty good point totals for those playoff weeks. Nice games, definitely probably try to stay away from a lot of the Raiders, a lot of Patriots. It's okay to mix in some. We couldn't get it in tonight, so we jumped over here to the 22nd eliminator. We'll see what kind of eliminator team we can't put together for you guys. Know who? We ended up switching over to the eliminator. There was like 7 people still needing for the sprint, and I didn't want to stay on stream forever. I bumped my time up tonight. The nights are tough. I know BBG streaming at 9:30 my time, so rather than starting at my normal 9:45 time, I tried to hop on here and get one in at least before he starts. I'll probably draft a second one, and I'll probably still stream it just because I'm going to be drafting it anyways, so we might as well stream it. But I think I'm going to start doing that more, kind of move my time around. I talked about yesterday, too, a couple days a week. It's not going to be like a set thing, but a couple days a week, I'm going to jump in maybe around like 2 o'clock or so. Maybe get in a quick little daytime stream. I'll still be on at nights. And then Thursday night, we're going to have a really late one because I'm going to be in the garage with Candyman Thursday at 8:30. So I still want to stream, though, kind of like you were saying the other day, especially starting out. I'm trying my best to do it at least 6 days a week just so I can kind of keep the algorithm aspect of it going. I don't really like Kyron that much. I'm definitely a Garrett Wilson guy. I'm not as out as everybody else on Tyreek. I think I'm going to go Garrett Wilson, Tyreek. It is the eliminator. We do want running backs, and I am definitely going to probably be looking to double tap a couple maybe on the way back. I just really didn't want Kyron there, and I felt like Wilson and Hill were better picks for me personally. Give me a wide receiver room of Chase, Wilson, and Hill. That'll help kind of carry me, and we could probably still get some decent running backs when it gets back to us. Yeah, probably that. I don't know. This is the first year I really tried a bunch of the different contests on Underdog. So, if you're around, you can maybe answer that question. Are the sprints kind of always not that interesting to people? Or as we get more into the summer, do they get going more then? So if you want to see me draft with Candyman Thursday night, if you're not followed to his channel, I believe it's called the Fantasy Garage or something like that. I'll have to look it up. I'll make sure and look it up and tell you guys tomorrow, but most of you guys probably already know who he is. We're going to be on with him at 8:30, and then we're going to do a late night stream Thursday, probably 11:30 my time, Central Time. We'll see. I got to see exactly how long I'm on with him. Mark wants me to feed the ducks already. Hold on, it's coming. We'll feed the ducks in a little bit. I got to find it on here. I don't remember where it was at. I'm still learning this StreamYard. Turn the volume down a little bit. There you go. We'll feed the ducks for you. Tell me if the volume on the ducks is good, Mark. We started in the one hole. It's an eliminator. We went Chase, Wilson, and Hill. We didn't really want to reach up for Kyron. We didn't really want Allen necessarily right there. We're okay going with 3 receivers that we feel really strong about. We'll piece it together from there. Starting to get back to us. Sometimes the 20 seconds can sneak up on me a little bit. So I'm going to start looking it out. We really need to go running back here. We don't want to get too far behind. There's a couple guys I wouldn't mind having. We could go with the 4th receiver, but I don't think I want to do that. It really just depends on if the 2 running backs that I really would like with this pick is there. One of them just went, Chuba. And Tet just went also. We don't really want Worthy. We don't really want Williams. In most formats, I'm not that high on him. But I'm going to go ahead and take Kamara. Because even if he fades later in the year, he's going to be their starting running back to start the year at least. So we'll double tap him and Walker to go with Chase, Wilson, and Hill. That may be my first Kamara share on Underdog. To be honest with you, he's generally not a guy that I'm in on. But I didn't want to get too far behind. I didn't really want to go Harvey. I definitely wanted Walker. I was hoping Chuba would have stayed. And then I would have went with Chuba and Walker. Or then once Chuba went, I was kind of hoping Tet would have been there. I would have just went Walker and Tet. Mark says he's on his phone, so he can only hear a little. Well, that's fine. That means it's definitely not too loud, probably. Still trying to play around with what I think the best volume for it is. We'll do like that. Just kind of have it in the background. Pete plays that music all the time. Pete overs it. And I know when I haven't listened to him much at all this year, honestly. I've talked about it before with me starting out streaming. I've been making more of a point to stay away from the guys, the big dogs. You know, I haven't really been listening to a whole lot of Pete or a whole lot of Davis. I do still listen to Liam sometimes because I really like him. And I do enjoy like the ship chasing shows and all of those, ADP chasing. But I've been really trying to make sure I support all my other up and coming. Most of them are ahead of me. Most of them started before me, but you know, they're smaller. The Who Hames, Hartman, Candles in the Morning Time. All of those guys. BBG when we're not streaming at the same time. PPR Tyler is pretty interesting to listen to sometimes. Let's see. We're not getting that close yet. Don't know what I want to do here. Probably just see what the board gives me. Go from there with it. We don't really worry too much about the stacks necessarily in the eliminator. When we can get them, we get them. See a couple names on the board I like. We'll see who actually falls to us. This is about the time when I do like to start just kind of checking out what I got going on bye week wise. I think what we want to do we're going to go with Rome and we're going to go with Judkins. I think the Bears offense, you know, is going to be pretty good. I'm hearing some good things about Rome in camp so far. It's early. It's just OTAs. It works real nicely with my bye weeks, though. You know, we managed to now through 7 picks. Our 3 running backs all have late bye weeks and all do not overlap. Our receivers, most of them have late bye weeks and they also do not overlap. I don't purposely go after guys with like late bye weeks, but I feel like, hey, when I get guys that I like and most of them happen to have later bye weeks, that's kind of a plus. I don't worry too much in the eliminator about like Wilson and Judkins if like a running back and a receiver are off on the same bye week. I don't worry as much about that. I just try to make sure position-wise I don't have too much overlapping stuff going on. Mark says he drafts better with the music in the background. And a few beers. Loosen you up. What's up, Hartman? Hartman is going to be back on the stream Friday night for you guys. That was really fun last time that he was on it. It is not a sprint, man. Sorry about the thumbnail. I keep wanting to draft one. Most of my drafts I've been doing on stream. I've been doing some during the day here and there, but most of the time I draft at night when I'm on stream. Other than slow drafts, always have slow drafts going. But we waited 5 minutes or so for the sprint. Neither one of them would fill. They both had like, I think the 22nd had like 7 to go still, and the 32nd had like 8 or 9, and they weren't moving. I really want to draft some of them though. Maybe later in the summer they start getting more interesting to people. I don't know. Seems like a pretty cool little contest to me. I mean, it's a huge field. Yes, I think it's like 9,000 people or something like that. Once you get to the playoffs. But I mean, if you just get out of your pod, you're making your money back, and if you construct the team right, even if you don't win it all, you can, if you got 2 or 3 nice little stacks and they perform well over that 3-game stretch, you could definitely give yourself a chance to make a run at it. I don't think I'll draft a ton of them or anything, but I definitely want to get me a few of them in. Hartman says he likes it, but it doesn't have many but haven't done many for the same reason. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. I guess people just aren't into it right now, maybe. I'll quit putting it in the thumbnail, and maybe tomorrow I can check like 5 or 10 minutes before the stream and try to get into a lobby and wait for it that way. Let's see what we want to do here. We're on the turn. So I like to kind of think it out a little bit. I see a couple things right off the top that kind of pop out to me. Just depends what these next 2 picks do, to be honest. Hawkinson was one of the guys that I was thinking about for this pick. We got 3 running backs. We started 3 receivers, so we're feeling really good about those guys. Fields is going to definitely be one of our picks. We're going to let the time kind of tick for a minute because we want to kind of look here and see. Could see if he comes back. Don't really want to do a tight end. I'm going to go Pittman. I don't draft a lot of Pittman, but I knew I didn't have, or I was pretty sure I didn't have a week 11 bye week. And I kind of like what I'm doing with this team without even really trying. A lot of our receivers, except for Rome, has week 5, but the rest of our receivers are all week 9 or later bye weeks, and none of them overlap through 5 receivers now. And it's a really strong group. I mean, Chase, Wilson, Hill, Rome, Pittman. Same thing with the running backs. They're all week 8 or later, and they don't overlap. Fields is week 9. I'm not really honestly purposely doing it that way. It's just kind of working out. Hardman says the sprint or the marathon are the most likely contest to overlay. It overlaid the most last year and seems to feel the slowest. That'd be good to keep in mind. We'll jump in some of them definitely at the end of the year if it's going to have a little overlay to it for sure. I talked about it at the beginning of the video, but some of y'all might have missed it. I'm close to having some sort of little intro video. I don't know. We'll see. I'm still debating in my head if it's going to be cheesy or if it's going to be cool. I can't figure out how people use the NFL clips for their intros and stuff. Every time I try to do anything with NFL clips, even if it's just little snippets here and there and take it from different things, YouTube always flags it as like potential copyright or whatever. I don't know if other people just like do it and just don't care, or seems like they wouldn't want to get flagged for copyright. I'm sure there's a way to do it to where it doesn't, and I just don't know it. So anyways, I'm putting together a little something that's different. I think it's kind of funny and cool. I was close to having it ready tonight, but the certain part of it, the AI that I'm trying to use to make it, keeps giving me fits and not quite coming out right. So we'll work on it some more, maybe tomorrow. Let's see, how close are we? We can watch the board for another couple of seconds. We have any crazy things going on? No, everything's looking well. Bucky in the first round in the 8-hole. That's unique. That doesn't always happen in an eliminator or anything really. Let's start seeing what we want to do here. We still need to get some more running backs in here. What are our picks? If we're picking at 120, then yeah, the next one will be like 144. So I do not think I want to go again without running back. We don't have any tight ends yet, but we can always just hold on and piece that together with 3 guys. I'm going to reach down and pull Eckler up a little bit. Gives me another running back. And we're going to take Drake May as quarterback. Let's look at the team. 2 quarterbacks. We got Fields and May. Both have a little rushing in them. Fields more than May, of course. Bye weeks are fine. 9 and 14. 4 running backs, Kamara, Walker, Judkins, and Eckler. The strength of the team is our receivers with Chase, Wilson, Hill, or Rome, and Pittman. We have not dipped into the tight end room yet. We're liking the way it's coming together overall. Hey, what's up, Chris? I don't know if this one will be finished before that one starts. But if it is, we'll try to hop into it. Keep me updated. You can also use copyright-free music, like BBG's intro is just copyright-free beat. Yeah, I know the music and stuff. What I'm having trouble figuring out is, oh, here, maybe I missed your comment. I added some clips into my stream. It just limited my viewership, so my video isn't available in Russia. But it didn't put a strike on my channel. I don't know. See, I had did that one time. I had put like some Tyler Shook highlights at the very beginning of my video whenever I was talking about him. And I mean, it wasn't long. It was just maybe like, I don't know, maybe like 30 or 40 seconds. And I didn't even use like just one, particular person's YouTube video or anything like that. I went and found like highlights from different parts and like cut them out and then just pieced them together. And I don't know, that video, it still gave me a little ding on. I don't know. I'm gonna keep trying to finish this one little AI thing I'm working with though, because I talked about it before. Part of my streaming is, is what I wanted to do. I thought it would be fun. I thought it would be interesting to do. I always love talking football with people. I'm a dad who's older with 4 kids, and so, I'm not really out and about that much. So, it's a good way to meet other best ball sicko like-minded people who just want to talk some ball and hang out and draft best ball teams. But if you guys hate the intro or think it's too cheesy, once I get it finished, let me know. We'll definitely take it down. Oh, my bad. It was not on the board that whole time. Sorry about that. We'll put it back after we make these next picks here. Let's see, what kind of quarterbacks are coming back? We might go 3 quarterbacks, but we can hold off a little bit, I think. Maybe we can dip into the tight end room a little now. We're going to go with Bigsby, because I like Tank Bigsby. And we don't know what's going to happen with Jacksonville's room, so the reason I keep betting on Bigsby over the other Jacksonville backs is because I feel like Tootin and ETN are kind of very similar. You know, their games, both of them are, you know, the speed guys, kind of get out in space. Tootin, I think, is a little more physical than ETN. ETN, let's face it, doesn't really seem to be physical at all. And so I think it'll be like between them two, which one has the other role. And I think, you know, Tank will still have a role. I think Tank will be their goal line back for the most part. I could be wrong. But especially in, well, really in any format, I've still been in on Tank. He goes later than Tootin, but I think he could score more fantasy points on the year than Tootin. I don't know. I could be wrong. But that's why I've been taking him. To me, in the Eliminator especially, he's kind of the end of the guys that I feel like could be potentially very, very usable or give you some really good weeks without like an injury, you know. Like Ray Davis can. He had went actually before Bigsby in this one. But, you know, once you kind of get past Bigsby, you start getting into Trey Benson, Jalen Wright. Let's see who else. Tyler Algier could give you some usable weeks here and there, even without a Bijan injury. But, you know, the rest of the guys, Braylon maybe. Depends if the coaches really want to use Brees as, you know, a heavy workload or if they kind of split it up. So I end up taking Bigsby a lot as something like this, like a fourth running back, maybe if my 3 running backs were stronger than those guys, or a 5th running back on a team like this. I do like to target him where he goes at his ADP for that exact reason, that I feel like him and Ray Davis are right there together, and I feel like once we get past Bigsby and Ray Davis, you're kind of getting into the guys that will only help your lineup with an injury. You kind of need an injury to really hit with those guys. Yeah, he'll also, especially if the Ravens catch themselves in a game where they're playing behind, throwing the ball a lot. But then there's also the Keaton Mitchell guy. Is he gonna be healthy from the word go this year? And if so, is he gonna mix in? Hey, what's up, Steve? Thanks for stopping in, my man. The Superflex master over there. I've caught a few of your shows when you were doing Superflexes with people, and I really like to hear your thoughts and stuff on them. You definitely have some good strategies and good thoughts. Oh, and we are on the clock. Let's flip over real quick. We got to get a snap pick in here. We're going to go with Anthony Richardson as a third quarterback because we wanted a third quarterback and we have Pittman, so it kind of makes sense in that aspect. And then we can start looking and seeing what we want to do with the other pick. We have 5 receivers. Don't know if I really want to do that. I'm going to go ahead and reach down and grab Shipley. Of all later round running backs. Y'all know I keep saying Shipley's my guy. I just feel like I'm not drafting a lot of Bijan. Not Bijan. I'm not drafting a lot of Barkley. I agree with somebody, so I want to give them their credit. I'm trying to think who it was. It may have been Who Hames. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but their stance is kind of that, like, it took Bijan, or not Bijan, it took Barkley having the season that he had. He doesn't catch as many passes, and as great as his season was, he was still under 23 fantasy points a game with all those yardages, and he had the touchdowns. But if you compare like his reception, to like a Gibbs or a Bijan, it's not the same. Hurts doesn't really throw it to the running back that much. Anytime they're on the 1 or 2 yard line, it is going to be Hurts. Yeah, for sure, man. You definitely deserve it. I like Shipley a lot. So much contingent value, and I think we'll have a little standalone value. Yeah, that's kind of what I was just talking about. I'm not trying to predict Barkley will get hurt or anything, but there is a world where they just kind of don't use him quite as much as they did last year. Maybe try to keep him fresh for the playoffs. He had a large workload last year, so injuries do happen in football sometimes, and I think Shipley's guaranteed pretty much to be the backup. They love to run the ball. They have a good offensive line. He is definitely my favorite target of the late running backs like that, and I have a pretty large percentage of him. I don't know exactly what it is. I'd have to go and look. I've talked about it before. I'm not one of those guys that worry about like my percentages. Sometimes it hurts me, sometimes it doesn't. I probably should worry about it more, but I don't know. Even with like, I know a lot of people like to use the like the best ball overlays and stuff. They have great tools. Don't get me wrong. I've seen some people like, showing them off and stuff, and they look amazing, and they can do and tell you anything you want. But it's like, we don't know what's going to happen in the NFL season, and I don't ever want to be at the point where I'm like, analyzing my builds. I don't think too much to where I'm like, I have this much Bijan, but I have him with too much Achane and too much Garrett Wilson, and I need to mix up my combinations a little bit. I don't know. Again, it could very well hurt me, but my mentality, or the way I think about it a lot of times, is like, well, I have a lot of those combinations together probably because I really like those players a lot, and so I click those players a lot. And we're just doing this for fun, and yeah, we're trying to win large sums of money. Let me make my picks real quick here. Let's see, where are we at? The 190s. We could use another tight end. Maybe we could go Chig. I think I'm done at running back with the 6. We could just go ahead and take both the tight ends we like here. 11 or 14. Which one's better for our buys? Both of those guys are on 10. I believe in Bryce a little more than I believe in the New Orleans quarterback. So we'll go Jatavian Sanders. We're going to do 3 tight end build. I think I can get away with the 3-6-6-3 with this particular team. It is an eliminator. We have Fields, we have Drake May, and we have Richardson. Okay. Nice little quarterback room for the eliminator. We have Kamara, Walker, Judkins, Eckler, Bixby, and Shipley. We can get by with that running back room. I'm okay stopping at 6 receivers because we started Chase, Wilson, Hill. Then we came back with Rome and Pittman. So I think that combination with whatever upsidey type receiver we throw on the end, I think it can be good enough. We have Ferguson, Chig, and Sanders. Decent little 3 tight end mix that can hopefully give us some really nice weeks. We'll see what comes back to us. put it on the board for a minute. If anybody is in the stream and you want to draft something next, let's talk about what we want to draft. I'm going to do one more at least. Mark says he's guilty of that too. Yeah, and this is the way I look at it, right? Like, I'm not spending money that I need for anything. This is most of my money that I spend on these sites is still built up from my bankroll over the years. And it's like, I want to get the guys that I like. I do mix it up some intentionally, I mean, my highest owned player, when it's all said and done, probably won't be more than 30-something%. And there will be not that many guys that are that high. And yeah, there may be some first 3-round or, a player that goes in the first and a player that goes in the third that maybe I do have those guys paired together 12 or 15% of the time because each of them or one of them's a 22% guy and the third round pick is a 30% guy. I'm okay with that. I don't know. I feel like I'm just knowing my personality. If I got some kind of thing that told me what exactly, my combinations and stuff were, I would be much more tempted to purposely then try to smooth out my combinations, which would mean that I am drafting less of the people that I actually want to be drafting. And that's not my style. I want to draft more of the people that I want to be drafting. I haven't drafted DK since I made the switch. I'm still going to do... Well, I take that back. I started entering a couple of slow drafts today because I saw they had some... If you draft 5... if you draft 5 of their $2 million tournament, like basically in the next 2 days, you can get like a free ticket to one of them or whatever. And I still have money in DK, so... I'll probably just do whatever I end up doing over there slow now that I jumped over here. I'll talk with you more, Who Hames, as it gets closer. Now y'all can see it at the bottom. It's official. I talked about it last night. I got my okay from the boss, aka the wife. June 20th, right before I go out of town. I'm going to do a 6-hour stream. We're going to start it at about 6 o'clock, probably my time. Oh, we are on the clock. And I think we just took Yoshivas because we were talking and we didn't realize we were on the clock. Let's check one of those sprints while we talk. Maybe we can talk for a little bit and get one to fill. I'll check the 30-second first. Still needs 9 people. No one's trying to draft a 30-second sprint. Mark, are you trying to draft anything? I know you draft a lot. Talk to me. But anyways, what I was saying, Who, is I'm going to try to have like a 6-hour stream, but I want to get all you guys on and try to, time it up where like, maybe BBG's on and Who Hames 1 hour and Hartman 1 hour and, whoever else wants to come on. I'll work with you on the time. Tell me what times are good for you on a Friday, and I'll try to keep that in mind and make it work. I'm going to start it at 6 o'clock. It's a couple weeks away, but I'm just trying to get the word out there since it's going to be kind of a, big deal. But I'm going to start it at 6 o'clock Central, and we'll probably just go till midnight or maybe even later if things are going well. Yeah, I was really glad to see Underdog do that, hoping it's a sign of things to come. Friday, June 20th. It's a couple weeks away. It's not this Friday. I'm just talking about it ahead of time just to kind of get the word out there. I wouldn't be surprised if next week it's a sprint promo. Maybe we should wait on the sprints then. I'll message you Friday. Real rough for me. I can fit in an hour. Yeah, that's cool. And I'll try to... once it gets closer, we're still a couple weeks away. Once it gets closer, I'll just let me know what time works for you, and I'll try to make sure I keep that time slot open for you, buddy. I'm going to hold off on the sprint, I guess, because they never seem to feel Let's go do Superflex. Anybody out there want to draft some Superflex? I know y'all are all Superflex fiends like myself. Yes, look at the bottom of my screen right now. I got my little banner going. It's not this Friday. I'm just trying to get the word out. But June 20th, I'm going to go out of town that next week after June 20th. And depending on the internet at the Airbnb, let's do it, Steve. I'm going to jump in a 20-second Superflex in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I am entering now. 6 spots left, so anybody that wants in should be able to get in still. But anyways, Hartman, marathon draft. But anyways, Hartman, on the 20th, we are doing a marathon stream too, and I'm going to try to get like you and Who Hames and whoever else we can find that wants to come on. I'm going to try to line up about 6 guests for that night if I can. Yeah. Thank you for clearing that up. I missed that. They do have the promo. I'm not really that interested in the marathon. I don't know. I think the marathon I'm going to hold off on. And I think Steve's in here in the 6 hole. Hey, look at that. I got me a black and white badge now, guys. I am not badgeless anymore. We're moving up in the underdog world. That's kind of cool. But anyways, the marathon, and do you guys draft any weekly winners? That's another one that I'm kind of not really that into, to be honest with you. Yeah, sometimes it definitely can. I'm trying to get used to it though. Steve, whenever you have time too, my man, I would still love to have you come on with me. Black badge, low key flex. It surprised me. I'm pretty sure I just got it. I don't think it was on the last eliminator even. I'd have to go back and look, but I don't think it was. I'm interested to see how Steve drafts this, because I know didn't you make like 3 finals in the Superflex last year, Steve? Is that what I heard you saying on talking about it with Who Hames or somebody? I know my man is kind of known as the Superflex dude. I don't really have a set strategy that I always go with. When I pick here in the 10 hole, I do generally like to go with some running backs. I really love it when Bijan falls to me. And we talked about how we're not super high on Barkley, but we also don't want to be totally out on him. So we're going to grab him here, see what flips around to us. I've been liking my teams a lot from like the 9, 10, 11, 12 when I take 2 running backs, or sometimes even 1 running back, and like if sometimes Lamb is still there, or even Chase sometimes will make it back here. And then whenever it comes back to me in 3 and 4, I'll just get 2 quarterbacks out of what's left and then kind of go from there. And I've kind of been liking those teams a lot. But I just feel like for me, like I would rather have, like, let's see what this guy does. See, I would rather start out CMC and Barkley. Let the board tell me what quarterbacks I'm going to take next. I'll probably try to go ahead and take 2. But I just feel like I'd rather have Barkley and CMC than, say, Kyler. Well, I couldn't have even took Kyler because Kyler went. But I'd rather have Barkley and CMC than Barkley and Kyler and then whatever running back comes back here. I don't know. I only drafted like 14 of them last year. 3 of them advanced out of the 14. And I don't think any of them made it out of week 15. So I definitely don't have a lot of experience. And what little experience I had, I didn't have great success. So we're probably doing it all wrong. Steve started with the Burrow Mayfield. Now, when I pick 1 through about 4, I definitely go, anytime I'm 1 through 4, I definitely take Allen, Daniels, Lamar, or Hurts. I haven't really had many 5, 6, 7s from what I remember. I think one time I did have like a 7 and I ended up going Chase or Jefferson. Hartman says he'll get in some marathons for the promo, slow style. I need to go check that article out too. Where do you, Steve, if you don't mind, where can I find your articles at? Like, I know you and your sister's YouTube channel. I've been watching some of y'all stuff over there, but I'm not sure where to find your articles at, my man. Steve loads up with 3 QBs. See, I probably am doing it all wrong. We're going to grab us some quarterbacks here, though. And I think we'll be all right. There's a nice little pocket of them here left. We should be able to get 2. The 11 hole has 2, so he could very well not draft any. We'll see what the room gives us. We're going to go May first because he's Drake May and he has rushing upside compared to Herbert, CJ, or Lawrence. I think there's a decent chance that I get one of those 3. Hopefully, even if 12 double taps. I guess if 12 double taps and 11 takes 1, then we may have to go down. Reach a little further. And the 11 hole definitely grabbed one. And they double tapped. They won't draft 4 though, would they? You know what? We're going to push it. We'll see. It'll probably bite me, but we're going to take Drake London because I like Drake London. And to me, there's kind of a drop off after him. I mean, he's a stud. I really like London. I'm high on Atlanta's offense. Higgins isn't the number 1 on his team, even though he's good. I'm in on Garrett Wilson a lot this year, but I don't know for sure how good he'll be with Fields. So we'll go ahead and grab London and hope that we get a decent quarterback on the way back for our QB2. We definitely feel good about May, but we definitely want some more quarterbacks. Steve says he appreciates it, Hartman. Yeah, just let me know when. And I don't know if you heard my question a minute ago, but where can we find your stuff at? Where can we find like your articles and stuff? I know you and your sister's YouTube channel, but I want to go read some of your articles and stuff too, but I'm just not familiar with where to find it. Steve went with the 3 quarterbacks, Burrow, Mayfield, Goff. Paired up Higgins with Burrow. Nothing wrong with that at all. Give me 1 second here, guys. I had to send out a little text real quick. Steve grabs his first running back, Breece Hall. And let's see how bad it dried up. Ooh, who is that? The 9 hole or the 7? The 8 hole has no quarterbacks yet. He has Bijan, Derrick Henry, and Jonathan Taylor, though. And then he grabbed McBride, and now he grabs his first quarterback in Darnold. We're going to take Anthony Richardson and consider it kind of lucky. He's at least going to start the year. We'll see if he finishes the year. And depending on what happens here, we're going to go Hampton because I just really like Omari and Hampton. I think a running back that Harbaugh went out and specifically drafted in the first round, who's got the size and speed that guy has, quickness, he's definitely got juice, not afraid of contact. Harbaugh is probably having dreams about what he can do with Hampton at night. I think that guy could be a smash this season, and he's one of them that I've been drafting a pretty good amount and don't really plan on slowing down. I mean, we was drafting Jalen Warren last year heavily because we don't like Najee. I'll definitely draft Hampton for that reason. I don't know what to believe anymore if Steve is taking a wide receiver this early. Fanspeak Best Ball Substack. I'm going to go check it out. Thank you. Took a wide receiver before running back. This may or may not be a cry for help. That's what's so fun about best ball, right, guys? I mean, you know, there's so many approaches to it. There's so many roster builds. I'm not gonna lie, I've been having so much fun since I came over to Underdog. I wish I would have done it years ago. You know, I'm older and we get stuck in our ways. I've talked about it before. I think because I played DFS for so many years before I really even got into best ball. So before I was really a sicko and just was dabbling in best ball 3 years ago, of course I just kind of tried it on DraftKings. I liked it a lot, and then that second year was the first year I played a lot, or I guess 2 years ago was the first year I played a lot. had a team that made the finals in their big thing, their big tournament. So like, hey, like why not just keep playing there? But I wish I would have came over to Underdog sooner because, man, with all the different types of contests and stuff, it's a lot more fun than DraftKings. I'm not gonna lie. We were hoping Shuck would come all the way back like he did and we could grab him as a third quarterback. We kind of got lucky on that one. We'll take him now and not risk him going around the board. We have Drake May, Anthony Richardson, and Shuck now, at least as in the QB room isn't totally depleted. We can maybe make that work. Judkins just went. I'm going to talk about Judkins in a second, even though we didn't get to get him because he went. Is there any quarterbacks we want? No, not right now. We're going to take Pickens. What I like to do, I got London, and I like to kind of get guys at receiver in this that I think are going to be, I'm okay taking like a lot of guys that I think of as kind of spike week guys. You know, I think Pickens could have some massive spike weeks with Dallas, but he's also going to have some weeks where he's not really doing a ton for you. But I'm okay because we only start the 2 receivers, and ideally I want some of my running backs hitting the flex too. Ideally, we want quarterbacks hitting the super flex, which with May and Richardson, at least early on, I think they will. There's no real reason for Indy to start Jones over Richardson at the beginning of the year. I mean, if they have to go to Jones at all this year, there's people probably getting fired, I feel like, for it. So I feel like they're going to give every chance to Richardson to start this year as the quarterback. He would have to be just incredibly bad in camp and Jones be really good for that to even be a possibility. Back to Judkins, though, which is who I was actually hoping would fall there. And the reason I want to talk about him, even though I didn't draft him, is because this is exactly why, trust me, it's tempting to want to get the best ball overlay thing when I see people using it because it is really cool. But me personally, this is why I haven't yet, because I know I probably have a nice percentage of teams, or a decent percentage of teams, more than most people might be comfortable with, that have both Hampton and Judkins as running backs on the team, because I'm really high on both of those guys. I feel like Savansky in Cleveland, he's always had a pretty good run scheme. They really that's got to be their calling card this year, is relying on that really good defense. The defense is still really good. They play outdoors. You know, relying on that defense and running the ball. And Judkins is a stud. Like, I like him. I think he can catch the ball better than most people think. He didn't do it a lot at Ohio State, just the way that they used him. Let me see what we want to do with our picks real quick. Then we will get back to finishing that talk. Couple ways we could go with this pick. The guy we really kind of wanted, Hawkinson, just went. I think we're going to go with the We're going to go Judy. I almost went Robinson. We're going to go Judy, though. I really like my 3 running backs that I have so far, so we wanted to grab another receiver. Judy's another guy that I'm kind of in on this year. I don't smash him or anything, but although I like Judkins a lot better and I think they're going to run the ball, when they do throw the ball, I think he's definitely their number 1. He could have some spike weeks. And it's a little early, but what I want to do with this team, just because he's not going to make it back probably, or there's a decent chance he's not going to make it back, I'm going to go get my guy. I like drafting Jalen Milroe in the Superflex. I think he works really well with this team because we have Drake May and we have Anthony Richardson, and there is that chance that Anthony Richardson doesn't start all year. Y'all have heard me talk before about Milroe. I think that by week 9, when they come out of their bye week, Jalen Milroe is going to be Seattle's quarterback. I am not a Sam Darnold believer at all. They have if you look at their schedule, their first 7 games, they have a lot of really tough games in their first 7 games. It ends in week 7 against my Texans, who I follow closer than any team, so I know that our defense is going to be really good this year. Could be for a kind of final nail in the coffin game for Darnold. They're going into their bye week. The fans are going to be wanting to see this rookie that they just drafted. And I'm okay drafting him at this point. Could he have came back to me in round 12, 13? Yes, or 11. I guess I could have took him in 11 technically. But I see him go a lot of times at the end of 10, and I see him go a lot of times early in 11 now, the last few days at least. And I didn't want to risk it. Of all the backup quarterbacks, he's probably the guy that I like clicking the most, just because I really feel that I will be shocked if he's not their quarterback at some point, and I think that there's a very good chance it could be a lot earlier than what most people think. They're not going to be that good of a team. We need to catch up on some comments here. I'm way behind. We are really behind. I'll try to catch up on you guys. Sorry. Mark's sub to Steve. I'm going to go check it out after this. Steve was the same way 3 years ago. Way more on DK than Underdog. Let's see what we want to do with this pick. Could do that. We got running backs that we know we can count on early. Charbonnet was a guy I was looking at. He just went. We're going to take Ingram. We haven't got any tight ends yet. I think he'll be a nice little piece to their offense. I don't take him a whole lot, but I do like him. There's 2. I talked about how I like to draft spike week type receivers in the Superflex, and there were 2 of them that I really like on the board. Both of them came back to us. We're kind of split between Higgins and Harris. This one we're going to go with Harris because we do have Hampton. And just like in almost any formats, we love team correlation. We did not have any Texans, So we will take him. Let me put it back on the board and go back over here now. Thank you guys for being so active in the comment section today. I really appreciate it. If you haven't hit the like already. We're up to 58 out of 100. I don't really have a time for when I would like to hit 100. I know all of you guys that are in here are already subbed though, and I appreciate that. Who Hames, I took my first receiver before I had a running back and took my second receiver pretty early as well. Nice. They are fun to do sometimes. For sure, this might be the first time I've done it during someone's stream. So you do Let's Loose. Love it. You got to mix it up, right, Steve? You don't got to worry about what we think of you. Everybody around these parts already thinks pretty dang highly of you. I know as a Superflex guy. We all want you to come draft Superflexes with us and teach us how it's done. It's okay to get different from time to time. I hadn't looked at it recently, but you were building a good team earlier. Burrow, Mayfield, Goff, Higgins, Brees Hall, and Mixon. So you got 2 starting running backs, 2 for sure nice running backs. J-Mo's a nice piece. Johnson, Mason, Scatterbo, Diggs. You took the other receiver that I was thinking about between Higgins and Harris. It's a nice team going on. I am sitting with a 4-3-4-1. We have Drake May, Anthony Richardson, Tyler Shuck, and Milrow. We have Barkley, Christian McCaffrey, and Hampton. We need to get back into that running back room. We have Drake London, Pickens, Judy, and Trey Harris at receiver, and Ingram as a tight end. Definitely going to try to grab a couple of the running backs that I like in this range coming up. We shall see what the room leaves me. I'm going to take him again. I took him on the eliminator. I like Bixby. We talked about on the last one why, so I'm not going to go too in depth on it, but I just feel like at worst case he has a role and he's probably their gold line back. We could get some nice little 2 touchdown games out of him even without huge yardages. If they end up getting rid of ETN or something, that's even better for him. If Tootin can't learn to not fumble, that's good for him. I don't think we need to really worry too much about the buys. Both of these guys I want have week 8 buys. I like Benson too. We're going to grab him. Benson was bad last year. I know that, but I'm one of those hard learners. Sometimes it pays off for me. Sometimes it hurts me even worse again. But if I like the guy as a prospect and they had a horrible year, I'm not afraid to go back to the well unless I saw something that just really made me think they were bad. Like Bigsby is a perfect example. I liked Bigsby as a prospect. I had a decent amount of Tank Bigsby last year, and it worked out really well. He had a pretty good year. I looked at his rookie season like, sometimes it just happens. He had the one game early in the year, the little off the hands pass turned into an interception, and he got really down on himself, and the coaches kind of put him in the doghouse for a while, and y'all know the rest. His rookie season was just a disaster. Some of the, worst rushing metrics on the games that he did play after that. And I see a lot of that same story with Benson. There was a game early in the year where he had a god-awful, I think it was like 10 rushes for 11 yards or something like that. And I remember seeing the the post game interview or whatever. Generally Sunday nights or whatever. I watch the little NFL Network recap show or whatever, or it might have been on Twitter or wherever. But I remember seeing his post game interview after that game, and the guy was just so deflated and so down on himself, and he ended up having little success here and there as the year went on later in the year. But I liked him as a prospect. And I've heard some decent things. We're early. We're not even to training camp yet. It's just OTAs. Guys are running around with shorts and a t-shirt. But there's been a little bit of good coach speak here and there over the offseason on him. And Connor's getting old. Age could catch up with him this year. So he's definitely a guy I've still been drafting. Let's see what we want to do here. We're up to 5 running backs now. Y'all already know who I like that's there. We'll see if we get him. Waiting to see what this 9-hole does. We're gonna make this a 5-quarterback team and take Cousins. There are a lot of outs that Cousins could just end up being a starting quarterback all of the year that you get in the 16th round. It's not gonna be Atlanta, but I mean, Rodgers doesn't seem in a hurry to go play for Pittsburgh, and at some point, is Pittsburgh just going to get tired of waiting and try to make a move for Cousins, who at this point could be a better quarterback than Rodgers anyways? There's starting to be, a little bit of rumblings even about him possibly going to Minnesota, which makes me kind of iffy in McCarthy. There's already those kind of rumblings. And we're going to get Shipley. That's who we were going to take if Cousins would have went. But we got them both. We like that. And if nothing else, even if Cousins stays in Atlanta, yes, I'll draft another one. I'll draft whatever you guys want to draft. It doesn't really matter to me. Y'all tell me. It's not even a bye week yet. I believe it came out like noon, 1 p.m. Eastern. Where did we leave off at? Sorry, guys. I'm trying to go catch up on the comments. You guys are doing such an awesome job being active in that comment section today. Shout out to you guys. I really appreciate it. I'm not going to lie. I'm not used to it. It's kind of hard to keep up. Huhaim said he was trying to slow down on the Superflex a little. Never mind. It's at 21%. Maybe I need more. Mark says, I feel that way about Kincaid this year. Must be talking about breakout player. I know you're high on Kincaid. The fill rate has been really strong for Superflex. It's not even been a week yet. I believe it came out like noon or 1 o'clock on Tuesday. Yes, Huhaims, we are going to do another one tonight. Whatever you guys want. Let's all hop in one together. We can do another Superflex. We can do an Eliminator. I'm down for whatever. I talked about it at the beginning, but in case y'all missed it, I'm gonna be in the garage. I'm gonna be on with Candyman Thursday night at 8:30 Central. I'm still gonna stream myself, but it'll probably be a late night stream, probably about 11:30, depending on what time I get off with him. Be a lot of fun though. As y'all know, I've had a few people on my channel. That will be my first guest appearance on somebody else's channel, though. So I'm really looking forward to it. Steve went with Eckler, Gesicki, Old Man Thielen as some of his last picks. He is on the clock now with Jawad Johnson. Excuse me. Jawad Johnson's a guy I click a whole lot too. Five, 6, 4, 1 in the 17th round. Probably going to get 2 more tight ends. At least 1 more receiver. Probably 2. I think we can be done at running back. Barkley, McCaffrey, and Hampton. And then Bigsby and Benson and Shipley. This one's for you. Who? We're going to take your boy Bryant. Kind of correlates, you know. I have we drafted their tight end earlier, Ingram. I like to get as many pieces of a team as I can. I hope so. I tell you what, if Pat Bryant is what wins me all the money in this tournament, you are winning a hell of a lot of money, my friend. Because I know you smash him a lot more than me. We're about to be back on the clock again. We're going to go Jatavian Sanders. We need another tight end. He's one of my favorite later round guys. Piecing the room together. Ingram and Sanders. It could be worse. We'll have 2 more picks left when it comes back around to us. We'll see what they'll end up being. We can go recap the team. We're sitting with the 5-6-5-2. We're done at quarterback, but we can make it work. Drake May, Anthony Richardson, Tyler Shough, Jalen Milroe, and we tacked on Cousins at the very end. Running backs, Barkley, McCaffrey, Omari and Hampton, Tank Bigsby, Benson, and Shipley. This is probably the first time that I've taken Barkley's handcuff and Shipley. I probably shouldn't have, but when I took him, he was just at that point where he was probably the best click on the board. I figured in a super flex with the extra picks, that'd probably be about the only time I'd be willing to take a handcuff. I am generally not a handcuff my top running back type of guy. Probably should have went someone else, thinking about it now more. But it could work out. Maybe Barkley just misses a few weeks. Shipley comes in and helps get the job done while he's out. And then Barkley gets back to being Barkley. It could work out that way. We only have 5 receivers. We're going to grab one more. One of my favorite Spike Week guys, potential Spike Week guys, is still around in Wicks. We're going to grab him. And we'll tack on whatever tight end we like the best that they leave us to finish it off. And it'll be a 5-6-6-3 We essentially got Philly's backfield no matter who it is. If Barkley does go out for a few weeks, we have Shipley. Again, I don't normally do that. First time I probably did it this year with like a Barkley or a Bijan or any of the higher drafted running backs. But we just felt like doing it with this one. What tight end do we want? We're going to really mix it up. We're going to go with Ben Sinnott. I hadn't drafted him at all until I drafted him the other night on a Jaden Daniels team because I didn't have any of the other pieces, and it got to the last round and I needed a tight end and there wasn't anybody there I really liked. So I threw him on a Jaden team. We loved him last year. Remember how high we were drafting the guy last year after 1 year of tight end at Rice? Maybe he gets more involved this year. We'll see. It was the last round, 20th round. I like my other two tight ends, Jatavian Sanders and Ingram. Maybe age catches up with Ertz, and this is the year that Sinnott gets involved more. We finished with the 5-6-6-3. Drake May, Anthony Richardson, Tyler Shough, Jalen Milroe, Kirk Cousins. Running back room of Barkley, McCaffrey, Hampton, Bixby, Benson, and Shipley. Receiver room, London, Pickens, Judy, Harris, Bryant, Wicks. Tight end room is Ingram, Sanders, and Bennett. Let's see what Steve finished off with over there. 4-7-6-3. Drake May. Oh, it switched back to me. I hate it when it does that. I'm still trying to figure out why it does that sometimes. I guess is it whenever somebody else picks, it will automatically switch off. Steve finished with a 4-7-6-3. Burrow, Mayfield, Goff, and Pickett. Really, really nice QB room. Started 3 QBs straight, so he had the strength he needed. Breece Hall, Joe Mixon, Caleb Johnson, Jordan Mason, Scatterbo, Eckler, and Devin Neal. Receivers, Trey Higgins, J-Mo, Diggs, the other Higgins from Houston, Old Man Thielen, and MVS. MVS is a really good pick in this format. Just tag him on at the very end. It might get you 1 or 2 spike weeks here and there. That's a nice pick. Loveland, Gesicki, and Johnson. I need to be more open to MVS in this format. I don't ever think about him because I would never think about drafting him in the regular formats. But I like that. He definitely is an interesting pick in this format. That is the team, though. Let us know what y'all think. Mark says, Panthers other tight end Trimble just had back surgery. Yeah, I don't think it's an issue in Superflex to handcuff. That makes me feel a little better. The master said it's okay. Especially for a top offense. Exactly. That is why we wait till the draft is finished most of the time. I got you, who. Yeah, I'm still learning all the little ins and outs of Underdog. Sometimes it kicks us out too, I've noticed. You know, it's like sometimes, like now, it will let you stay in the draft room. But sometimes as soon as that last person makes the pick, I don't know if it's something I'm hitting, but it seems like it's just really random, and it'll sometimes kick me back out to the lobby, and sometimes it'll let me stay in the room a while. What are we drafting? Who you want to do a super flex? Y'all talk to me. Steve says it's some weird underdog thing. That makes me feel good that it's not me. Superflex, Steve says. Let's do a Superflex. Huhaim says Superflex or Eliminator, fine with both. Let's do Superflex. Everybody's fine with Superflex. We got Steve in the room We got Steve in the chat. He is the Superflex guru. 20 seconds, guys. I'm going to enter it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Entering now. 10 spots left. Should be plenty of room for everybody. Jump on in. The water's warm. We'll see who all is able to jump in. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me tonight. Who Hames, I'm going to have to go back and watch the rest of you and BBG's from tonight. I caught the first part of it before he got on there, and then I saw about the first 5 or 10 minutes of once he joined you, but then I was busy cooking dinner and stuff and couldn't really keep up. But I'll definitely go back and watch it. You can always count on these Superflex, especially the 20 seconds, to feel quick. I guess that's one really good thing about them. You guys tell me, how does Underdog normally do it? So, like, now that they came out with this, Puppy Superflex, will they wait all the way until this one's over before they bring, like, the regular Superflex back? I mean, the regular puppy back? Because I know last year, didn't they have, like, I always hear, you know, like, especially Davis always joking about, like, puppy number 7 and stuff like that. Hey, we got a 101. I'm going to switch it up a little. I think we're going to go Lamar at the 101 tonight. I kind of like his stacking options a little better. And I don't know if I have Lamar in a Superflex. I haven't done near as many as Who's done. Look at that. We are all in here. This is going to be a fun draft. Friend of the stream. One of my good friends in real life. Mark Cox is in here. Who Hames is in here. Steve-O is in here again. It's going to be a fun one, boys. But I've had like 1 or 2 number 1s in the Superflex. I think I might be up to like 20 of them now, ish. And so I have a couple of Josh Allen teams. I do not have any Lamar teams, I'm pretty sure, in the Superflex. So we're going to start Lamar. Can't go wrong with either one of them, I feel like. Who, if you missed it earlier, I earned my black badge finally. I am no longer badgeless. Not that it means anything, really. But I just got a kick out of it when I saw it tonight. Whoa, y'all gonna have to catch me up. What is a golden? I didn't even know golden. I have 2 golden doodles. That's my favorite type of dog. I'm gonna have to play some goldens. Nice, nice. Yeah, sounds like for some, single entries are coming. Also, apparently, rookie and sophomore, which is awesome. Single entries. I didn't know they had single entries. That's what Hartman just clarified for me. Thank you. So, Steve, you're saying they're going to have some drafts that are just rookies and sophomores? Is that what you're saying? Steve-O switched it up and went, boy, I guess Burrow was gone. You're in the 6 hole. Barkley in the 6 hole. Mark starts with Mayfield. Who Hames gets a JJ way back at 11. This is fun. I think this is the most that I've had in a draft on stream. Like people in the stream, but also on in the draft. This will be fun, boys. Who Hames with the Puka Jefferson start. Nice. Mark grabs Genty. See what we want to do when it gets back around to us here. A lot of times I end up going with position players after I take the elite QB, or at least one of them. It just depending on what's out there, I guess, on the board. Don't probably want to go receiver, though. We want to wait on receiver, probably. We could go ahead and go with another quarterback and one running back. Don't know. Think about how we want to play this. Well, Fields went. He was the one quarterback that I was thinking about taking. We're going to go ahead and get A-Chan and double-click Taylor. Get us a nice little running back duo to pair with Lamar right off the bat. Play it that way and see what comes back. We were going to go A-Chan and Fields, but Fields went right before us. Last year, the Goldens were $10 single entry tournament. I believe all of them were fast only. That makes sense for a single entry to only be fast. Rookie and sophomore is a different style of format. That'll be interesting. That could be a lot of fun. I'm interested to see that if it comes out. They also have a Bulldog, which is a single entry, $75. I'll probably stay away from something like that. We'll see. This might turn into a disaster. Who is trying something different? What you cooking up over there, Who? Steve from the 6 hole went Barkley, Nix, and Prescott. Mark went Mayfield, Genty, and CJ. Who Hames with the JJ, Puka, Bucky, and Ladd start. He is cooking it up over there. Who Hames says he's rocking with the 0 quarterback build. I did that on one, and it turned out really gross quarterbacks. But if I get lucky with the really gross quarterbacks, the rest of the team was insane. It was from about that same spot, the 10, 11, somewhere in there. I don't remember exactly where. Let's see, are they gonna? There's still some okay quarterbacks on the board too. Starting to get kind of close to me, so we're gonna start trying to see what we want to do here. I got 2 really good running backs, so we can probably hold off. There's not a receiver that we love. we're going to get Bryce and Geno and just be maybe even done at quarterback. I think with the Lamar, Bryce, Geno room, unless something late that intrigues me falls, or just a late round take a shot at a backup, that is definitely a QB room I would be okay just stopping at. With those three, we're going to do that. See how it plays out. Might stop at 3 wide receivers. You might be able to get away with it with that room. I don't know. If it was me, I would probably add at least a 4th, but you know what you're doing. Guy at 11 doesn't have any QBs. Take all the QBs. I'll laugh if that happens. I'm not opposed to taking 0 QBs till 11, then taking 9. That would be interesting. Mark went with Wilson and Tyreek as his first 2 receivers. Who Hames gets Richardson. He's going to at least start the year. If you could piece together the rest of the room, it could just work out. The 12 hole started with 2 quarterbacks and 3 wide receivers. At least he has them stacked. I guess it makes sense. But then he takes a 4th wide receiver before any running backs that might come back to hurt him. There you go, Who. It's going to work out for you. You got 2 quarterbacks that's going to start the year. Get you some that's going to finish the year. And it could just work out right. Maybe even the other 2 from those teams. Mission accomplished. Steve-O grabbed them all. Nix, Prescott, Lawrence, and Stafford. Nice 4 QB room with Barkley and Mixon as the other picks. We got to take Ted. It only makes sense. We like him. We're very in on him. And we have Bryce. We also are a big fan of team correlation. So we'll go ahead and grab Chuba. Who says he was originally trying to take Bowers instead of Ladd if he was there. I talked about it at the beginning of last night's video. I changed my stance on Bowers. I realized why I was out on Bowers this year, and it had absolutely nothing to do with Brock Bowers. Sometimes in best ball, we get real caught up in our, you know, our old habits or things that burned us, things that didn't work out for us. And Mark Andrews, 2 years ago, when he was going in like the third round, I drafted a whole lot of him. That's the year he got hurt. It obviously hurt me a lot. That was the same year that Kelsey was going in the first round. I had very little Kelsey, actually. That was kind of my, well, I'm not going to draft Kelsey in the first round. Andrews can do just as good as him. I'm going to smash a lot of Andrews in the third round this year. So I still get the elite tight end, but 2 rounds cheaper. Obviously, we know Kelsey failed that ADP and Andrews got hurt and was a big bust. Fast forward to last year, Laporta was going right around the 2-3 turn, somewhere in there most of the year. I was not in on Laporta last year, and I feel like he didn't pay up that price tag at all. Kelsey was going in the 3rd and 4th round, and he didn't pay up that price tag at all. I was drafting a whole lot of Brock Bowers last year at his price, and that turned out really well. So, long story short, I think that because of the early tight ends personally failing me in 2003 with Andrews getting hurt, and then Laporta and Kelsey just knowing that they didn't pay off last year, I think it kind of had me not wanting to take tight ends early this year. But I think Brock Bowers is a special player, and I do need to draft a lot more of him than what I've been drafting. And I think we took him in both drafts last night, actually. This is a little tough spot. I don't really love anything here. Probably grab Ridley first because I do kind of like him. I don't like any of those tight ends. I'm going to get Swift. If nobody gets traded or signed, if Chicago doesn't bring in another running back, Swift could still end up having a really, really good year with Ben Johnson. I know everybody says Ben Johnson hated him before, and they did trade him away, so he probably didn't love him. But I really didn't like a lot of the other stuff on the board. But anyways, that's my little why I was not drafting a lot of Bowers, but now I am fully in on Bowers. And I'm always doing that. You know, I try to always analyze myself, my thoughts, my player takes. I think about best ball all day long. Let's face it, we all do. From the time we wake up to the time we go to bed, and then there's some nights that I think about it when I'm trying to go to bed and shouldn't be thinking about it, and it keeps me up. But we are who we are. That's why we're drafting in May. Now it's June. Sounds a little better, but most of us have been drafting for quite a while now. It was actually Friday night stream with BBG, and just hearing exactly how excited he was when we drafted Bowers and got Bowers where we did on our BBM team. It made me kind of reconsider. And so I had about an hour and a half drive to and from my aunt's house on Saturday because we went and hung out with my parents, and my aunt took the kids up to my aunt's house. She has a pool. Was playing around in the pool, and pretty much the whole way there and the whole way back, I was kind of thinking about it while I was driving. And that's when I had my revelation. For sure, for sure. It is definitely good to be willing to pivot or evolve your opinion as new info comes. I totally agree with that. And that's probably why I think about stuff so much. Because I know me and I can have very strong player stances either in or out on certain guys. And so especially with those guys, I'm always trying to make sure, is this really a guy I want to be this heavy on? Is this really a guy I want to fade that much? If the room will work with me, I have a beautiful double tap coming up here. We'll see if it works with me. Just need Zach Morris to cooperate. I'm going to get one of them. We'll see if I get the next. That worked out. Look at this. We're going to double tap Golden because he's a bring back for Lamar with Andrews because we need a tight end and he pairs with Lamar. I like how that worked out. We're sitting with the 3-4-3-1. Lamar, Bryce, and Geno. Running backs Achane, Taylor, Chuba, and Swift. Ted, Ridley, and Golden at receiver. And we just grabbed Andrew at tight end. That was a nice. I saw Golden and Andrew sitting there for a few picks, and I was hoping they'd come back to me like that. I like Golden. I'm in on Andrews too this year still. Speaking of the injuries, and some of y'all probably heard me talk about Pacheco. I'm not in on him this year because I'm worried about that particular injury. Pollard wasn't that good whenever he came back from it. Andrew started off the first half of the year really slow, but then he finished with I think it was 7 of his last 8 games he had a touchdown. Who is showing us all why you don't wait until round 5 to take a quarterback. You know what they say. Let's look at it. Nah, you're going to be all right. You have 2 starting quarterbacks no matter what. By taking, I had mentioned something earlier about maybe even the other 2 quarterbacks from those teams. At least you have Indy's quarterback and Seattle's quarterback, no matter which one it is at which time. I know your style. You're going to tack on a couple more of the backups. I believe it was you and Steve that was actually talking about it on your podcast, how many quarterbacks played last year, how many backups actually got in and started games. I forget the guy that y'all were talking about, but one backup in particular that had a really nice week 17. Was it Mac Jones? For some reason, that name's sticking in my head. He'll be all right, who? Let's see what we want to do over here. So far, we like the way this team is coming together. We could do that. Probably not any quarterbacks. I really think I might end up sticking with 3 quarterbacks on this particular one. We're going to grab Bateman for some more correlation. Ray Davis just went, who was a guy we were wanting. I'm going to reach down a little bit. No, he'll come back. I don't need to do that. I'm going to get Kraft. We're going to really try to take advantage of that Week 17 matchup. Lamar with Bateman and Andrews. Golden and Kraft on the other side. Hopefully we get lucky and make it to Week 17, and then the weather cooperates. and we get some decent football weather. Maybe it's only about 55 degrees, no snow, no rain. Decent football weather still. They're all players I like. That's me. I'm not a religious week 17 stacker like some people. I will admit that I am definitely like, my main focus whenever I'm drafting is, first and foremost, I always want to get as much team correlation as I can. I always want to get the team stacks, want to stack up my quarterbacks. When I can add week 17 bringbacks and it's still players that I like at prices that I like, then yes, I will definitely do it like I'm doing on this particular build. But I'm not one that really like goes out of my way to make sure that I get the bringbacks. In general, I probably focus a little less on it than most people. Just how I like to build. We already saw that one. Drew Lock, I don't think you got to worry too much about him. Maybe though. Let's see how who pulled out of it. He went with the JJ, Puka, Ladd, and Bucky. Then he grabbed, we know, the Indy and Seattle quarterbacks. Threw on Judkins and Johnson and Scatterbo as running backs. Also grabbed Spears, likely as a tight end. Garindo as another running back. I think it's going to work out for you, my man. We'll see. I'll have to start this one. This will be a fun room to watch as the season goes on, just to see whose teams are kind of doing what. Achane, Taylor, Chuba, and Swift. We definitely want to try to get back into some running backs here. We're also going to grab Leggett. I know some of y'all aren't in on him, but I still am, or I should say. And I think Shipley or Allen. I just love me some Will Shipley. We're going to go Shipley. We could make this a 3-quarterback team work and have some extra picks for the other positions. What's Steve doing over there? Barkley. Then he went with the 4 QBs in a row. Nix, Prescott, Lawrence, Stafford, Mixon, Hunter, Sutton, Mason, Tracy, Travis Etienne, Jaden Higgins, Kyle Williams, Hollywood Brown, and Strange. Strange is a nice click. The Jacksonville offense could be really freaking good this year. Their defense isn't going to be that great. If this isn't the year that Trevor Lawrence finally has the offense humming, Trevor Lawrence isn't going to be the guy. He has no excuse. He's got Liam Cohen coming over there, who showed what he could do last year with Baker Mayfield and company. You got a stud in BTJ. You got Travis Hunter. You got some running backs to work with. There's absolutely no reason why that offense shouldn't be good. If it isn't, it's probably because Trevor Lawrence. Oh, you're saying Locke was the week 17 guy. I got you. I thought you were saying because you had the other two Seattle quarterbacks that you were worried about him, but I don't think it'll be him. I mean, I guess there is a world if Darnold starts, like I kind of predict or think could happen after the bye week, they turn it over to Milroe. Maybe if Milroe isn't good or they're still losing, maybe at the end of the year they go to Luck, but I don't know why they wouldn't just let Milroe continue to play for experience. Haim says Steve is crushing it. Why wouldn't he be? He is the Superflex guy, after all. We'll look at him at the end on the little team page. It's easier for me to kind of piece them together. Let's see what we want to do here. We could even go one more running back. Maybe Lloyd. I'm going to go ahead and grab Sanders because he stacks with Bryce. And we're going to grab Marshawn Lloyd. We don't have any Raiders to go with Geno, but that's okay. Maybe we could throw Tucker or somebody on there with one of our last picks. We'll keep an eye on him. Maybe we'll throw him on there and get a spike week. We're in the 17th round. What did Mark do over there? He started with Baker, Genty, then went CJ, Wilson, Tyreek, Mike Evans, Tyler Shook, Pacheco, Olave, and Warren, Ingram, Ramondre, and Goddard, Mims, McMillan, and Kate Otten. Flipping around to the 18th. Elijah Arroyo is getting a lot of really interesting talk in camp right now. I know y'all heard one of the coaches the other day was almost even kind of hinting at using them out wide and a lot of the same type of just big body receiver type stuff Metcalf used to do. That would be interesting for sure. Yeah, I knew you heard it. We probably all have. I just thought it was interesting because I was already kind of in on the dude. This one is winding down. We're in the 18th. I don't really know what exactly we'll want to do here with this 18th round pick. And then the 19th. We could probably go another receiver. We have 5, but our first one was Tet. Then we took Ridley, Golden, Bateman, and Leggett. I feel like most weeks we can piece together 2 scores out of there. But this is definitely the kind of team that I wouldn't mind having like a Slayton on. Kind of thought about going Mariota, but just for more correlation, I'm going to go D-Hop. Why not? D-Hop might have something left in the tank. He didn't look like it last year in Kansas City, but he's a big receiver. Maybe he gives me a really nice week when I really need it. We only start 2 receivers, but I don't have a whole lot that I can count on. I didn't take any of the, true top end of the draft studs. The rookie Tet was my first guy. So a build like this is definitely one that I'm okay going 7, possibly even 8 receivers if I throw Tucker on there at the end because of how we built it. I'm okay with just Lamar, Bryce, and Geno at quarterback. All 3 are starters. All 3 I feel like, well, Lamar is Lamar, but Bryce and Geno, I feel like their jobs are pretty safe. Geno probably even more so than Bryce, but I feel like Bryce's job is safe, especially if he can play pretty decent like he did last year. We have him double stacked, so if he is performing well and their offense is performing well, that will be really nice for this team. Running back, we got nice strength with Achane, Taylor, Chuba, Swift if nobody else goes there. Andrews, Kraft, and Jatavian Sanders. We actually had Bryce triple stacked. I forgot we drafted Sanders. It's a nice little squad. I like it. We got one more pick left. Assuming none of y'all want him, so probably just going to throw Tucker on there as an 8th and final receiver on this type of build. Generally, I do try to stop at 6 receivers or so. 7, depending on the build, but waiting until Tet as my first, and then we didn't even hit him up right after that. Let's see, we went Tet and Chuba, then we took Ridley in the 8th, Golden in the 10th, then it was the 12th where we took Bateman. Basically every other round until these last 3. I like the way it's coming together though. It wouldn't let you take a 7th quarterback. Sam Howell, Spencer Rattler, Jalen Milroe, Daniel Jones, Darnold, and AR, of course. It could work out for you, It could work out. We never know. We don't know what's going to happen. That's the fun of it. We draft all these teams. We try to put the right combinations together. We have our builds, our 0 RBs, our hero RBs. But in the end, it's going to be a long, crazy NFL season, and nobody really knows how it's going to shake out. I let it just finish on me because I had Tucker up there, and I was hoping maybe if the time ran out, it would not do the random switch out thing. We'll go through the teams real quick, and then I'm going to call it a night. Mine finished with will be a 3-6-8-3. Lamar, Bryce, Gino, Achan, Taylor, Chuba, Swift, Shipley, Lloyd in the running back room, Ted, Ridley, Golden, Bateman, Leggett, Slayton, Hopkins at the receiver, Mark Andrews, Kraft, and Sanders in the tight end room. We have Lamar stacked up double. We have Young stacked up triple. We have some bringbacks in the Green Bay game for Lamar. And we'll even have a dart throw receiver to go with Gino once it actually adds him to my roster. Let's find Steve. Steve went with the 4-6-7-3. Bo Nix, Prescott, Lawrence, and Stafford. Barkley, Mixon, Mason, Tracy, Etienne, and Devin Neal at running back. Travis Hunter, Cortland Sutton, Jaden Higgins, Kyle Williams, Hollywood Brown, Pat Bryant, Tyler Lockett at receiver. Strange, Mason Taylor, and Juwan Johnson at tight end. Yes, you did crush it. I definitely like that team. A very, very awesome looking team. Let's move on down the line. Where is Mark? Finished with a 3-6-8-3. Baker, CJ, and Shook. Genty, Pacheco, Warren, Ramondre, Chubb, and Miller. Garrett Wilson, Tyreek Hill, Mike Evans, Olave, Mims, McMillan, Wicks, and Keyshawn Butte. Evan Ingram, Dallas Goedert, Kay Otten at tight end. Having Wilson, Hill, and Evans, and even Olave, if it was me, I might have taken one less receiver and one more running back. But it's a good team. It could work. Let's look at the 6 quarterback room over here. Man said he tried to take a 7th and it wouldn't let him. Basically has the Indy and Seattle rooms with the 4 dudes that pretty much get drafted. Richardson, Donald, Jones, and Milrow. Also threw on Rattler and Sam Howell. Running back room, Bucky, Judkins, Caleb Johnson, Scatterbo, Spears, and Garindo. Wide receiver room, he did end up going a little past 3 with JJ, Puka, Ladd, Pierce, and Adonai Mitchell. I think that was his last pick if I remember right. Isaiah Likely, Gesicki, and Elijah Arroyo at tight end. That was a very fun draft, guys. Glad you enjoyed the stream, Steve. Huham says he likes Mark's team. I like his team too. I actually like all of our teams, to be honest. I think they all can work in different ways. If I was Mark, I might have left one less receiver because he did have 3 really, really good ones and a 4th, and Olave, who I'm really high on. Huham says sometimes you have a good time and light $5 on fire, basically like having a shot at the bar. That's the way I look at it. I very rarely drink anymore these days. This is my fun. Let's just draft some best ball. Anyways, guys, y'all have a good night. I'll see y'all in the chat rooms tomorrow, I'm sure, because we're all in there together most of the time. Have a good night. I'll be on tomorrow, sometime in my normal range, 9:30, 9:45, somewhere like that. It was fun. Talk to you guys later.